Hello everyone. Welcome to the lecture series on disaster recovery and build back better. In this lecture we will discuss about culture and risk, particularly in disaster risk. This lecture would provide an idea, a kind of perspective about why culture is so important in disaster risk management or understanding risk perception. Also, we will look into what is the meaning of culture, why culture exists in a society, and how it may influence people's perception and perspective of risk. In our context, it is disaster risk. We may not give a direct connotations of disaster, but we will look into culture and risk from a broader perspective. Okay, and I am Shubhajyoti Samadar from Disaster Prevention Research Institute, Kyoto University, Japan. Generally, in the conventional theory, they think that individuals' perception of risk matter how big the hazard is, the exogenous variable. If the hazard is bigger in size, in magnitude, then people have greater, higher risk perception. That is a very conventional idea. Now, so external risk stimulus is so important in conventional risk perception theories or practices. Okay, and risk management effort, conventional risk management effort is therefore to prevent the unwanted event and to ameliorate its consequence, to reduce the consequence of an unwanted hazardous event. Okay, here you can see in this picture, when the stone is bigger, people have greater perception of risk. When the stone is smaller, people have less risk perception or low risk perception. Now, in the conventional theory, conventional understanding of disaster risk or any risk is that individuals who are at risk, they are the passive recipient of risk. That means they do not manipulate, interpret, construct the meaning of risk. They see what is there. So risk is very objective. It depends on the probability of a particular hazard and the consequence of that hazard. Okay, that how it would cause human losses, property damage. Like in this theory, all individuals are like a passive recipient, like a baby. Okay, and there is of an independent stimulus, that is the hazard. And for them, the particular way of communicating risk or risk communications, in case of early warning, there is a recipient, that is the source. They send the message, and through some particular channels like mass media, televisions, radio, newspaper, to the audience in order to help them to prepare and to know them the magnitude and the consequence of a particular hazard. If you look into the right hand side, that is showing that some meteorological agency, some scientific bodies, they will collect information, scientific informations, and then through the mass media they pass it to the people, common people who are at risk. So for them, the dominant model of risk communications, for them the major concern is how to pass qualitative informations to the people about risk. When they are sending these informations, they focus on two aspects. One is the probabilities and consequence of that event. From one information bearer, that is the transmitter, to the receiver, or from the source, transmitter or receiver. Okay, so this way they communicate the risk. But people are arguing, or from our practices, from the field notes, researchers are reporting from their studies that may not be enough. Well, transforming the information is very important and very critical component of risk communications in order to enhance the resiliency of the local communities. But that is not enough. That's simple. Okay? It is because how people interpret the meaning of risk, it varies from individual to individuals, groups to groups. Okay? So one group, something is risky. For another group of people, it is not that risky. So we need a kind of consensus shared meaning of risk. Here you can see the example like a snake. When someone is thinking that snake is dangerous, is a risky animal, a person is escaping from that place, someone is trying to beat him, to kill him, someone is taking picture, someone is praying to the god. So people have this, so stimulus is same, it's a snake, but people have different meaning, different perceptions about the risk. So interesting. So what risk does not really depend on the magnitude and consequence, the probability and consequence of hazards, but it also depends how people perceive that hazard. Okay. Now, as a conventional theory, they are focusing more on the probability and consequence and hazard kind of event as disaster. They generally have two ways of conventional risk management, disaster risk management. They are very directive. They're saying that, okay, in order to reduce the risk, you should do that. You have some specific goals and you have some specific actions to perform. And while doing it, they are also very reactive. They think that this is the only way to solve the problem. Okay, this is the only way to solve the problem. So target is set, and now how to implement that target, and that's it. But there are some other perspective of risk. They are saying that it is not that external stimulus that determines people's risk perceptions, but it is the socio-cultural context or individual characteristics that define the way people perceive risk. Here we are talking from the cultural perspective of risk. For the cultural perspective of risk, individuals are active information seeker. They are not the passive recipient of information, but they also collect informations to develop their own perception, one perspective. Okay, like you can see, for someone it is 6, for someone it is 9, for someone it is 4, someone is 3. So how you are looking at it, from which angle, from which perspective, it matters. Here is another good example that how dad sees it, how the kid experiences it, and how mom sees it. So it's not actually, maybe doesn't matter the length, but when it varies from person to person, individual to individual, group to group, institution to institutions, the same stimulus we see in a different perspective, in a different angle. The perceiver is not an individual, of course. They are a kind of institutions or kind of organizations. They're living with other group of people. So institutional structure at which the individual belong is the ultimate cause of risk perception. So creation of a shared meaning and trust over the transfer of quantitative information. So there was an outstanding work by Purity and Danger, 1966, considered to be modern classic of anthropology. So Mary Douglas, in her book in 1966, Purity and Danger, is talking about the cultural importance of risk, the cultural perspective of risk that we would look into what is culture and why it is so important, why she is arguing that culture is so important when we are talking about disaster risk management or risk management, why we need to understand the cultural aspect. Otherwise, we cannot communicate enough, we cannot manage risk enough, we cannot encourage people to prepare against risk. Let us look. She was studying Leviticus. I think you know Leviticus is a kind of a religious book, law book that gives you guidelines about the morals, what to do, what not to do, what to eat. Okay, so this is a third book of the Israeli people, the Jewish people, and the book of the Leviticus. From the Greek word it has came. The book explained the 5 basic themes that relate to the life of holiness. Okay, a holy God, a holy priesthood, a holy people, a holy land, and a holy Savior. Now this Leviticus, to the Israeli people, they are saying, hey, no pork on my fork. You cannot eat pork. Okay, no pork on my fork. So Mary Douglas was curious why Israeli people are restricted not to have pork. Why they cannot eat pork? What is the reason? Why they seen it is a kind of risky pollutions? She was not looking into disaster as such, but she is looking into pollution that is also a kind of risk. What is purity and danger? Okay, why it is so danger? So somebody argued that the pork, it carries some kind of parasites. So if you are consuming pork, you will be affected by parasites. Your body will be consuming also parasites, Trichinella spiralis. So this particular parasite that enter into your body through pork, and that's why the Israeli people were given the mandate that you should not eat the pork. But Mary Douglas was arguing, okay, if it is really that so, it could be scientifically true or not true, that doesn't matter. But if it's really true, then why that time that China, which was scientifically and technologically much advanced than many other countries, were eating pork? There was no restrictions for Chinese people not eating pork. But in Israel, there was the restrictions of not eating pork. Why there is a difference? China was much advanced. They didn't know about these parasite issues that not to eat pork for their health reason. Is it really the health reason? That's why the Israeli people saying that don't eat pork is risky. Then somebody was arguing that maybe in Israel you won't get pigs. So as a result, you should not eat pork because they are very less in number. So if you were eating pork, you will endanger the species, the existence of that species. Now Mary Douglas is arguing that if it is so, then you can use it like a kind of asset, okay, like gold. You can sell it as an endowment, and you can say the more pork I have, the more rich I am, more pigs I have. But they didn't do. They only put restrictions. So then they was studying, and she came to know about taxonomic anomalies, dietary restrictions. What is that? Do you know what is the meaning of taxonomic anomalies, dietary restrictions? Well, some foods are clean, according to the Jewish people, and some are not so clean. So why it is so? So Mary Douglas was trying to understand why this is so, and then she came up with the idea taxonomic anomalies and dietary restrictions. Now, what is taxonomic anomalies on dietary restrictions? Mary Douglas found that according to the Leviticus, according to the Jews, Israeli, people cannot eat pigs because pigs are anomalies. Like pigs have cloven hooves, like cow or horse, but they do not chew the cud like other cloven hooves as land animals generally do. Like horse or cow, they have cloven hooves and they do chew cud, but only pig, they don't do chewing the cud. So that's why they are anomalies. Okay, so they have cloven hooves, but they do not chew the cud. But those who have cloven hooves, generally they do chew the cud. So that's the difference we can see, and that's why it is an anomaly. In case of snake, you should not eat snake according to Israeli Jews law because they live on land but they have no legs. That's very rare. You would not find any other animals that live on land but no legs. So if most of the animals, they are on land, they have legs. So if someone does not have legs but living on land, this should be considered as anomaly. Okay, taxonomic anomalies. Also, shellfish. Shellfish is considered to be fish. They live in the water, yet they lack fins, scales, characteristics of true fish. They don't have fins or grills. Okay, so you should not eat shellfish because it's an anomaly. So here, what is polluted, what is dangerous to it, are given the list: unclean food and clean food. Okay, and they are considered, unclean foods considered to be monster. Okay, abominated by the Lord and by His chosen people. So you should not eat these unclean, polluted, anomaly animals or species. Okay, but why should only Israeli uniquely care about classificatory anomalies? Douglas was, of course, arguing that such concerns are not unique to the Israelis, but thrive today in support of social structure of many other tribal societies. Even within the Hindu practices, the reason could be different, but we can see that many foods are considered to be polluted, dangerous, and many people are vegetarian. Cows are considered to be scared, that's why you should not eat cow, and they often avoid the pork. No snails or crocodiles you can eat, and numerous birds are restricted in Hindu dietary practices. Similarly, in Muslim culture, also the concept of halal and haram actually distinguish what is risky to eat and what is not, what is pure, what is dangerous or polluted. Okay, so risk, according to that way, is not the external stimulus that determine, but risk is basically culturally constructed. We are culturally biased. So how people perceive, act upon the world around them depends on their way of life. Culturally biased means nothing bad or wrong, nothing good or bad. It's more about the way people, the lens they have, they're looking into it, okay? The way people look into the outside world. So what is culture then, if it is so important? Let us look here that what is the meaning of culture when it is defining our risk perceptions. Not only risk perception, it defines many things, but what is the meaning of culture and how they impose, control, and shape our risk perceptions. Well, this is we, human being, right? and this is a cow, this is dog, this is lion. Are we different? Yes, we are different. Well, physically we are different. They have 4 legs, we have 2 legs. They don't have hands, we have 2 hands. Of course, we are physically different, but also socially or emotionally, intellectually, we are also different. They cannot speak, we can speak, we have language. Now, if I want you to go to an island where I can give you all the gadgets you want, all the luxury items, a swanky building and all the internet facilities, a good car, but all the foods, any kind of foods you want from any country, any dress you want to wear, want to have, I can give you, provide you. And I ask you to go to an island, live there. The condition is that there is no other human being, no other people there, and you have no internet connection and phone connections, and you will stay there. Will you stay there? Well, some people, maybe very exceptional, they will stay there. But I'm quite sure that large number of populations, maybe 99% populations, or maybe more than that, would say that I would not agree to go there. Why? I do not want to go there. I have all the facilities, all the things I want to achieve there is there. All the things I want, all the foods, all the dress, all the cars, gadgets, all I have. Luxury life. But still, I do not want to live there because, why? Because we are social animals. We cannot live in isolations. So, if instead of that, I send dogs, or maybe cow, lion, can we call it a kind of, they are my companions, I can stay with them, am I social now? Basically, no. I need fellow members who look like me, who can talk to me, and with whom I can interact with. So these other fellow, not only dogs, cats, lions, but I want a human being, right? So it could be that someone is from my own country. It depends on someone's nation's race, or maybe same linguistic group, or maybe some coming from the same town or village, geographical locations, or same occupations. So we all comprise, want to live together, sometimes based on nation, race, linguistic groups, town, occupations. We want to live together. And that's how we form, create society and community. Okay? Now, if I want to live there, okay, and what is missing here? Like 3, 4, 5 people coming from same nations or same linguistic group, or maybe same hometown, they are living together. What is missing there in this diagram? What is not there that a society needs, a human being are missing? Human beings are missing. So what I should look into? If I want to say, okay, we can live like this, will you agree? No, I will not agree. Why? I will again feel isolated. If I say, no, you cannot talk to each other, you cannot share anything with each other, you cannot look at each other, you cannot help each other, you cannot marry, you cannot develop friendship, make friendship. So in that condition, in that conditions, you cannot really make yourself social. So what is missing is that simply being a social animal, I want interactions with each other. So that is also true for any individuals, any social animals, human beings. We always seek interactions with each other. And that's how we form society. So interaction is so very important to form, necessary to form a society. Okay? So, but the now question is that how do you make interactions? I have different identity and roles. Sometimes I am a father, sometimes I am a son, sometimes I am a friend, sometimes I am a teacher. So the way I talk to my students, I talk to my friends, these two interactions are different. So how to control? Like suppose if at the middle of the night I call you and say, hey, hello, how are you? Well, this is not socially accepted. Nobody would bother that one, okay? So how do you make interactions? What helps to make social interactions, and what kind of social interactions I should do? Who will define that one? And so suppose if I am very close to someone when I'm talking to him, is it okay? Or should I maintain some distance? Or maybe in the train, there is elder person standing besides me, I'm not offering her seat. Is it okay? If somebody is saying to me hi or hello, generally we say hello or hi. If I say, okay, I don't know the meaning of hi or anything, well, we are not social, right? So our interaction is not going on well. So people are interacting, but they are not effectively interacting. There is something missing. People want to smoke. They are smoking, but they are bothering others. Is it okay? If someone is telling me thank you, other people are saying that, okay, you are welcome. Now, we want to maintain that social relationship. Somebody is saying me namaste, I'm saying namaste. Okay, handshake, we are returning with handshake. And when it is more difficult to maintain social relationship, okay, why society cannot always maintain social relationship? So then how to achieve that one? That how we can maintain that social order, these social interactions, okay? That is very important. Now, why we cannot do it? Because we have different mind, different perspective, overlapping rules and conflicts we possess, okay? And so we put rules and regulations upon interactions between individuals or between groups, formal and informal rules and regulations. Like sometimes some rules are very formal, like it's written that please do it at your home, you cannot do it. It's completely explicit and very written. And some are sometimes that very formal, that you cannot smoke here, you cannot eat here. But people are on a queue where nobody told them to do that, but they are doing it. It's very informal manner. It's a kind of to showing the manners to others, respect to others. Then this is a culture that tells you what to do and what not to do. Doing, being, explaining. Like, for example, in the left-hand side, you can see that this is a market in Paris, okay? And this is another market in US. They're doing the same thing. They all came in a market, but they have a different way of marketing style. Doing shopping. This is considered to be an marriage and institutions, but it is completely different in two different cultures. Like in case of United States, people tend to view marriage as a choice between two people based on mutual feeling of love. But in case of Hindu marriage, maybe, not in every cases, but in a lot of cases, is arranged through an intricate process of interviews and negotiations between two parties, two families, right? Here, the two partners have very limited choice to make decisions by their own. Or when we are talking about family, you can look in the left-hand side, an Indonesian Muslim family, in the right-hand side, a Christian nuclear family in Europe. So they are very different, but they are both considered as family, okay? Or maybe cow on the road. Well, Indians won't be surprised seeing cow on the road, but a foreign people, particularly Western people, will be very surprised seeing cow on the road. Well, this is very important, and this is very interesting, that this lady thinks that other lady wearing a burqa is everything covered, but her eyes are what a cruel male-dominated society. Okay, she thinks that It's a very male-dominated society because everything is covered, only eyes are open. On the other hand, that other lady with burqa is saying that nothing covered, but her eyes are open. So what a male-dominated society. So both of them is perceiving that they are coming from a male-dominated society because based on their dress pattern. Okay, so culture is a kind of lens through which you look into the society, how it is. Okay, so what are the elements of culture? We have symbols, language, values, beliefs, and norms. Symbol is the most critical, important part of culture because it is a human being who can only interact through using symbols. No other animals can do that. We can use symbols like sign or gesture, objects and words. We can use variety kind of symbols to reciprocate informations. Okay, if you see this one, you can understand that this is where you can get drinking water. Also, we can show various fingers to tell the meaning to others, communicate with others. Also, it could be written word as the words to communicate with others. Okay, so we have different kind of symbols that human use as a part of culture, but also this varies from culture to culture. This symbol, what is the meaning of this one? For example, maybe in India this is in chota or thora, it's very small amount. Okay, but look into what other people in other countries they think. In Italy, it means that what exactly do you mean? Or in Greece, that is just perfect. That is just perfect. The same meaning, the same object, but different meaning. Different meanings to different cultural groups. In Egypt, have patience, be patient. Okay. Some meanings, some gestures are very universal, like smile. If I smile, you understand I am happy. Okay. And it is almost universal. But for example, the thumbs up, okay, in United States is kind of positive reinforcement. In Russia and Australia, it could be an offensive curse. Or this one, what is the meaning of this one to you? Okay, for someone is hello, for someone is goodbye. Well, no, thank you. And for some people, I am royalty. So also like this color, red color. The color is red, but it has different meaning in different cultural or different context. In the left-hand side, it means there's a police. There we understand that, okay, this is a police, something is an emergency. In the right-hand side is a red light. That means you have to stop. And in the middle, it means actually a brothel, a prostitutions. So the meaning of this red light depends on the context. Similarly, we have language, symbol used for written communications. Okay, like nowadays we're talking about emails, internets, downloading, texting, which was not there just maybe 20 years before. Okay, or maybe 30 years before, so which is very new to us. Now, another important component of culture is the values and beliefs. Okay, what is that? Values are culture's standard of what to do, what is good, what is not good to decide. Okay, so when somebody is gambling, or somebody is very flamboyant, or somebody is taking alcohol, we have some kind of values. Somebody saying it's good or bad, ugly or beautiful, right or wrong. It could be also kind of accepted or unaccepted, desirable, undesirable, ethical, unethical. So what is ethical, unethical, acceptable, unacceptable? These are all our values. How do you decide that taking alcohol is bad or good? Being flamboyant is good or bad? Gambling is just our values, right? Just our values. And culture creates these values to give us some kind of mind, vision, and lens. So what is good and bad, ugly and beautiful, right and wrong? This is we see from cultural perspective, cultural lens, and culture gives us this mind, this vision, and this lens to see the objects. No object is right or wrong, no object is ugly and beautiful. It is that way which we give the meaning to them, right? So we have this cultural perspective, and these values then come into beliefs, okay? And individuals in a society have different beliefs that to translate this one. So this is American society, and they believe in individualistic culture. On the other hand, we have Japanese society, which is more in collective culture. This could be considered in Western culture as a kind of homosexuality, but in many parts of Africa and Middle East, this is considered to be as not homosexual, but solidarity and also friendship, showing friendship. So how the same thing varies from culture to culture. So in order to put those values and beliefs into practice, we have generally norms. So what is good, ugly, how to control that one, these values, okay? Then, so how to maintain that social interactions, we put social control that we called social norms, okay? And these social norms are sometimes formal, sometimes very informal, like you can cover your hands when you are sneezing, or you should not do cheating, or you should not drink alcohol, okay? And some are very important norms, some are very unimportant norms. So that's how culture works and gives us. So cultural context of risk is saying that culture matters, how people define what is right or wrong, what is risky or not risky. And so there are many examples, but so risk is culturally constructed. How people perceive and act upon the world around them depends on the way of life, and way of life, a combination of social relation and cultural bias. Thank you very much.